It takes you 2 hours to get a 30-minute task done.
Yeah.
You busy scrolling. Now you're toilet, you scrolling. You doing dishes, you scrolling.
Waiting for that notification saying.
Waiting for the bus, you scrolling. Waiting for the train, you scrolling. You know, and that notification thing. I mean, the social dilemma
to that.
It has already.
We are addicted to
dilemma.
Because if phone is always lying, you start working, and it's like, hey man, my phone is quiet, and you check it.
You've just stepped into An Empty Street, a podcast where we casually engage in difficult conversations about relationships, wealth, and health. We are just three curious gentlemen who ask questions almost about everything, and our aim is to find answers from others and within ourselves. We sit down every week to explore unaltered conversations. So let's walk the talk together, and welcome to the Empty Street Podcast.
In 3,
2, 1.
we're rolling. Welcome to the Empty Street Podcast.
We're live. Another day, another Tuesday, another week. Yeah. Welcome back.
Man. Last time we were here, it was episode what? Episode 11?
4.
No, episode 10, 11.
Yeah, we're around there, 10.
9, 10, 11. Yeah. The time seen no Mary.
Because what dropped was, it was 1, 2, and it was 3, me as a guest. And then it was 4, 5. Okay, I see what you mean. 4, 5, so it's 7.
Hey, I don't remember, dog. We've been at it. Like, it's been how many weeks now? 50 weeks.
50 weeks?
Yeah.
This is 51.
Yeah, we've been at it, man. We've been at it.
So you guys will have to understand, you can't keep track anymore. It's been a whole year.
No. Yeah, by the way, we are at Pretoria Central, 012. Chili pepper. Everything is hot. Basically chicken, Nseba, hey. This day Baba is one now. So,
Praise God.
Hey, but yeah. Nice place you should check out when you have some time.
Yeah.
When you're in the area.
Yeah, when you're in the area, just pass by and you want to grab some bite.
Shine a quarter, let's say.
I mean, got the Yeah, but I think my only problem was I should have went with the ash. Chakala, it's not like the normal chakala. It's some other stuff. It's chakala. So I think that messed it up a bit. And it was a bit messy. It wasn't intact.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I think
right.
Because the most important things we got, I think, is seeing and chips.
Yeah, those are the two heavy things.
Yeah. How were that?
Chips were nice. Chips were nice. The bread
fresh.
As I was saying, it was breaking, so it wasn't fresh.
Oh, maybe it was too fresh. Breaking because it was too fresh. And breaking because being an like a car. I want a car to go anywhere else.
Plastic.
Plastic.
I think it actually breaking with freshness.
Yeah.
Because you can tell when something is fresh.
Oh, I feel it.
Yeah, even it's still intact.
Yeah.
No matter what. Because the minute I started grabbing a hold of it, they say tabuga from Emo.
So Manja, when it comes to health-wise, do you hold yourself accountable? Also, you have discipline and control over what you eat. Yeah, sure.
With me, I would say if I'm actually like focused on a specific diet, or like I've set my mind to okay, you know what, I'm working out and this is what I want to eat during the process of me working out.
Sure.
Yeah. You can't hear me. So what I would then do is, but that's the music, that's not me.
No, into show ukuthi volume yakho manje. Not because of the music. Mina ngiyakuzwa clearly, but you know the challenge that we always have when we have music. The music comes and distracts your voice. So we have to be a bit louder.
Hey guys, you forgive us. You forgive us. Let's isolate. Mina ngifuna ukuchama. Angazi ukuthi ngiyachama. But hey,
mara ungawakunabantu abambhekile behind the scenes so ngibona shalazela
but yeah, as I was saying, I do hold myself accountable if I'm actually like if I've set my mind towards something. Like when I'm actually working out, then I'll say, okay, this is a set diet that I want to have. I'm totally whether it's intermittent or if it's a diet that has certain food types in it.
Sure.
So at this moment, I can say that I'm obviously not on a strict diet, you know. But come weekend, I'm on the streets jogging. You know, I still channel myself with you, whether or not I eat in a certain way. I still put in the hours, you know? And that has always been the thing with me. Even when I was like working out heavily, my focus wasn't entirely on the diet, but the time spent in the gym. So I'd go every day.
I remember your first episode when you speak about health. Your first episode, how cool my health. I want to wear shit.
That's
that's spirit.
It's the same thing. Because for me, if you can eat well, but if you're not working out, they say that 80% is the food you eat.
80%,
and then 20 is
the workout.
Sure. But for me, I don't. To me,
I think it depends on genes as well.
To me, that doesn't apply.
I think it depends on genes.
So for me, I can do that and it might work, but I can do it the other way around as well, and it might still work because I put in the work. So I don't go to the gym and just walk on the treadmill. I sweat.
So I understand umzimba wakho basically.
Sure.
Because there's also SK ngamajeans. This is all we're talking about alcohol. If you check, most abantu ababhaya baphuza beer banomkhaba. Most ababhaya banomkhaba. But kunalabo ndoda bayiconsume beer. But still ndoda akanamkhaba, still uslender. Amajeans. Uyabona ukuthi awawenzi next.
And that person has been drinking for years.
Yes.
Yeah, has been drinking for years.
So do you think like the food we eat in a contribution to how clearly you can think as a person? Because I think we've mentioned this several times. What did you call that drug that gets released?
Idas.
Just before we started
you become
shooting,
sluggish,
and you were like, "Hey, manje, I feel heavy."
Lazy.
So does that also?
I think it does
affect your
because
thinking.
the minute that drug kicks in, you become lazy. And so with laziness, it's either, and if you're in a comfortable place, you're gonna want to sleep. So already thought process I'm not gonna be thinking.
And the weather has a contribution.
Exactly. So the weather is all cloudy. I'm not thinking like in my clearest of thoughts. Even the weather's clouding my thoughts.
And it's cuddling.
Yeah, you fool like if you're a woman who I mean, you know all those things about and all of that. You want to cuddle, as you were saying.
Snake park, snake park.
You know, if it's a thing, if it's winter season, you know most people but you know those kind of things. Also boy. So those kind of things. And in that process, while speaking about like couples wanting like to cuddle and all of that, that's when like women tend to conceive kids most of the time because that's when they want each other's warmth, like human body temperature as they
my phone is skin to skin. Nyami la ukhona ube warm guy.
But to answer your question, I really do think that the food we eat
one of the things that contributes to us having difficulty into thinking.
Clouds our judgment as as well as alcohol.
And as well as alcohol as well. Because I think alcohol, and I've mentioned this before, Guti, on that episode we were talking about, I think we were speaking about dreams and then we mentioned the alcohol. I mentioned in the Guti, alcohol is sort of like a supplement. It makes you, like when you don't make the decisions you'd make
on a sober
normally
mind.
When you are in a sober mind. So another thing is the risk. When you're drunk, it's not like you don't see the risk. You can see the risk, but you're like, I don't care about the consequences. It's the consequences that are like eliminated. It's the consequences that are eliminated. You're like, I'm gonna take this risk.
You're not
and then-
thinking it straight.
Yeah, so you can see Uguti, it's also a distraction from you seeing clearly Uguti, if I do this, these are the consequences. So that's another thing, which is into me I noticed at the time I got mugged.
Had you been sober, that incident might not have
Yeah,
happened.
no, I mean it in a way, Uguti. Oh yeah, you're right, Uguti. I knew Uguti, these guys might be armed with anything.
But you didn't care.
But I acknowledge that risk. But I was like, what are the chances though that I can overcome them? I acknowledge the risk, but I didn't acknowledge the consequences.
Of it,
which
sure,
is
sure.
something I do if I was in a sober mind.
Sure.
Okay,
You think
I'm
things
sober
through.
now. Yeah, I think things through.
Sure.
And my survival instincts as well would have
Kicked
put
in.
me in a way that I'm safe.
Stay away from
because
danger.
I put myself in danger by retaliating.
Yeah, you got hurt in
then
as a result.
I got stabbed, almost died, but
Yeah.
we here shooting the episode. We are
Hey,
51 episodes, babe.
Yeah, where they? Where they?
Yeah,
They know
we're
it
still
to be
going.
seen.
We're still going.
Yeah.
But I think it's more exciting, man. Guti, we are reaching like almost a year now.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
it's exciting. Like
Definitely.
you get
I
to
think
see the
with
work
each-
we've
only
done.
left with what
When you look
1 week.
back,
Yeah,
because
when you
sometimes
look
I
back.
tend to look back.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, nah, it's been
I
a
think
journey.
it's one of the case in Kurmangai accountability. Because I don't think if it was not about accountability, Sophia,
Yeah.
taking accountability of the decision that we made, that
Yeah.
we wanted to start this, then now we hold ourselves accountable to make sure that
It happens.
We deliver.
We
It happens,
deliver.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's one of those cases now.
Because it's not easy.
No, it's not.
It's not that we don't face challenges.
Yeah.
We
You
face
know, behind the scene,
We
there's a
do.
lot that is
We
happening.
do.
we face
Yeah, there's a
them, but
lot.
in every
Weather
challenge
is
we
one
face-
of them.
Yeah.
Weather is one of them.
Yeah.
And you guys, I'm sure you guys saw it on like episode 50. We actually sat there until.
But I think these are the things we should be talking about
Yeah,
on the last
last
episode,
episode.
episode 52.
We'll recap on
Yeah, the last episode of the year. I think we can just
cover it
recap
all.
about the episode.
Yeah.
About
All the episodes.
your journey,
Yeah,
the
journey.
1 year journey. So,
Each
yeah.
and every episode, what happened behind the scene.
Yeah. But I want us to go back to what we were
Now you
talking
can
about.
come to
Uh,
you need to go there. Thanks.
Sure. So I want us to just go back a bit to what we were talking about like things that cloud our judgments and our decisions, things that step in front of us from thinking clearly, that make it so difficult for us to think clearly.
Yeah. Funo sneaky pig.
I know after this, I think we
If you
could.
grant.
I think numbing's over sharp, eh? Yeah, I think, you can give us a blue. You can give us a blue.
Yeah, like I want us to go back to those things that make it difficult for us to think clearly. Do you think that, like, as we mentioned with alcohol, as we mentioned with food as well,
sure.
and then we mentioned something about weather changing and clouding our not judgment per se, no, that's not the word I want to use, but distracting us from focusing at the task at hand, but at hand,
yeah.
but thinking that
Looking for
it's cold
distraction.
now, I
Yeah.
should be
Doing this.
I should be doing
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Or hey, it's hot manje. I think you're taking 1 year na beer for ukshisa lo
All the fever.
So I want us to go to the cold one when it's cold and sifuna abantu bafuna uba seyingubeni, abanye bafuna uba seyifubeni, snake
Abanye
park
bafuna ukuthi
type of
Netflix
vibe.
and chill.
Yabona, Netflix and chill.
Yeah,
Ingoma ngithi.
Ingoma.
Angithi Snake Park esifumeni sendo.
I don't know.
You don't know the song?
Is that where the Fumo Sendota comes from?
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
where it
know,
comes
piano.
from. You guys are
If
old.
it's piano,
You guys
dog,
are
if it's piano, yeah.
Yeah, so it's unokuyizwa nje mang somewhere. Yabona?
Yeah.
So do you think that baseyingubeni nakhona or the Netflix and chill and the cuddling also makes it difficult for us to think clearly? Because you mentioned in the Yoguchi, that's when most women will actually conceive.
Conceive, yeah.
So do you think that it also clouds the judgment, Yoguchi? No, we should be taking the protection measures to avoid something that we are not ready for.
But then ibuya lapho kule nto leboyisho lebo khuluma ngayo ngole nto boyisho labeling demands yakhumbula on episode 50 we're talking about labeling demands.
Right.
So labeling demands same as labeling the day, also environment, you know what I'm talking?
Yeah.
Even then now the mood, if your mood is like this, then decide to wait now. That means
this weather
I
is
should
for
be
this.
doing this. You
This weather
understand?
is for that.
Yeah.
This month is for this.
Yeah. Same as the
This
mood
day should be this. If it's a weekend, we are doing
Yes,
the labeling.
true. The labeling. I'm sorry, we are labeling. At the same time,
So we cover that.
Yeah.
Okay.
so we are nalento ukuthi mabuye Spain ngiyazi ukuthi abankhathele. Ngiyazi ukuthi usually unice ukuthi ngiphathe nje iBA1 or ngiphathe
And Avenger.
Yeah.
So iyo leyo nto le into uyayilebula then mase qeda kuyibula then seyiba yi-distraction. Then seyiba yi-mood, you know ukuthi if environment like this then the mood usually fanele ibe
So it
kanje.
affects your emotions
Yes.
and your behaviors
Yes.
and your reactions.
Yes.
So it's-
Then lapho ke seyibuya
Yeah.
seyibuya nalento ukuthi if you wear like this into ifunayo ufuna ukukhathela then uyaqala uyacabanga ukuthi akusukukhathela kuphela so manje ngithole nomuntu sometimes ufike lesikhathi ukuthi awunamuntu
Yeah.
sometimes awunayo umuntu yabona then uthola leyo muntu then reacta then
Uthola uscrolla lapha
so thola so scroll lapha yeah bese ukuthi
swipe left, swipe right.
swipe left swipe right then uyakhona ukuthi at least uthola umuntu uzokhona ukuthi yabona uyibone so nayo then at least lapha i-snake park siba
Thanks,
relaxed then siba warm yabona
Yeah.
then same zonke lezi zinto ezikanjalo imood yakhona inama distraction inama decisions because as ulo Nceba bekasho ukuthi most people they conceive a lot during that time because siwela into le ukuthi immediately macold kanje into ewenza ube warm ayeke kube sikhadlile ngempahla to impahla vele kube
Has
skin
to
to
be some
skin.
friction.
Angithola kube nalento oyenza ukuthi ukushise man lapha phakathi and makushisa imood yakhona uyazi unokuthola ukuthi umuntu even a sex siyenzile angazi ukuthi kwenzakalile singafaka nekhona those things just happen ama emotions
They're
were
heated,
high
yeah.
you understand so izinto ziba clouded ama decision esiwenzayo because we're just going with the flow we're going with the mood the experience the moment
Yeah.
uyangithola
Yeah.
so zibhaye izinto ezenzekalayo lapho behind the scenes then at the end of the day i-distraction it turn out to what to a permanent lifetime
Effect.
moment or effect
Yeah.
uyangithola
So
so zonke izinto
I think there's quite a lot of distractions. Like
yeah
for the past few years, more than a decade even.
sure
Like we've been distracted by social media.
Yeah.
You know
Definitely.
that Leopana, it's
yeah
affected us.
that's what
And we are all
And
addicted. If you look at
all
it,
of
we are
us.
all addicted.
Like
yeah we're all
as a
tempted.
globe, as a globe, you can see it anywhere you go, Bwana. Trains, taxis, work, you know, these things are everywhere. They've been embedded into our everyday lives.
Yeah.
And so to a point where we don't even think it's a distraction anymore.
No. It's part of us now.
Yeah, like you'll be at work,
It's a
but
norm.
on your phone.
yeah
Young son, if you
there's
had to
nothing
look
wrong.
back- no, there's nothing wrong because it's a norm now. It's embedded. Young son, but if you had to look back before the years of social media, that never existed. Young son, it's either your phone was just sitting wherever it's sitting and you got the task done.
Yeah.
It takes you 2 hours to get a 30-minute task done.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you busy
Reminds me-
scrolling. Now
reminds-
your toilet, you scrolling. You doing dishes, you scrolling.
Waiting for that notification saying
Waiting for the bus, you scrolling. Waiting for the train, you scrolling. You know, and that notification thing.
Yeah.
I mean, the social
We are
dilemma
addicted to that.
it has already.
We are addicted to
Hey,
a social
yeah,
dilemma
Nceba,
broken
Yeah,
down.
because if phone is already lying, you start working, and it's like, hi man, my
The
phone
minute
is
thing
quiet,
like, hi.
and you check it. Oh,
Exactly.
okay,
It
it's like
feels-
you're addicted to
ithatha
that
noma
sound.
uvale uyalivula
Yeah.
ukuze
the
hlezi kube
minute
So
Yeah.
it reminds me of I don't know who said this, but he was like, he was commenting on social, like being constantly on social media
Yeah.
and ignoring the task at hand or the people that you are around.
Around you.
Because manje, we'll be talking and my phone will be face down
face down,
here. That
sure.
doesn't mean anything. It
away.
means that if your phone rings, you can prioritize your phone and not the interactions you have with
Exactly.
us now. So what he was saying is like, if the person is not in the room, forget about them.
okay
Yeah, forget about them. You don't have to press your phone while you are with us. Like, put the phone away. That person is not here with you. Obviously, there's some
Currently, you have to
communication
focus,
ways
yes.
that you have to make sure Guti, that doesn't burn bridges for you or have some type of conflict if ever you are in some form of relationship.
And actually, I was having a conversation with my mom I think 2 weeks ago, if not last week, about social media and all of that, and how just our use of cell phones. We don't even have conversations with strangers anymore.
No.
Like, you would find people would talk to each other, and it would be normal. You wouldn't feel some type of way with that. Why now you look like a weirdo.
Passenger to
Yeah, without.
Hey, no pun
And people
intended.
even go to an extent. I missed that one.
Passenger to passenger. That's an inside
that's
joke.
an inside joke.
But
So manje, it gets to a point where people even put headsets to block other people out.
Exactly.
Sure,
Young Todd. So it got to that point. Now we're even shutting out the rest of the world. So like we have made ourselves like introverts.
Yeah.
Young Todd.
Yeah.
We have now blocked out
Yeah.
the world and have just made that the new normal.
But if you look at the evolution of this new age technology, that's what it's been doing. It's been
Isolating us.
Yeah, it's been isolating us. Look now, Meta. Meta
Yeah.
is like just be in
In
your
your
room
universe.
and you're gonna still be out there, whereas you're still inside your room.
your own space.
So, but I think we've derailed a bit from the actual conversation.
Thing is, it's a
about
lot. It's part of the distraction.
Yeah, it's part of
because
the
as it's a good point because it's you looking at it in like the years to come as well. You know how that will also affect our thinking.
Yeah, of course.
Even VR, virtual reality, that
Sure,
too.
sure.
I don't know if it was just a movie or if it's already like there's already establishments that have those kind of stuff. But there was this other movie I watched, and it's like a club. Mara, this club had hanging. I don't know if I've spoken about this before. It had hanging VR glasses in it, so you just walk in there, and everybody's just
Plugged in.
plugged into VR, and that's you. That's what you're paying for. You can spend weeks in there, day in, day out. You're just in that world. Yeah, so now, how do you think that affects how you think, your thought process? Everything is now.
It's gonna make it difficult for you
You can't adjust. Now you have to readjust and become part of society again. Now you feel like you're an outsider. You can't relate anymore because you're living in this, as you were saying, the metaverse. You can't relate to people in the real world anymore.
No.
Because you're so attached to this made-up world, that has everything the real world does, but it's not really. It's not reality.
Yeah.
It's not reality, and we're embracing it as if it's like that's where we should be moving.
That's the
towards.
way of life.
But it's like we're moving to our own detriment. It's like I think it's like something we actually spoke about. That whole thing about us. Are we better at destroying ourselves or creating ourselves?
Yeah.
That's another thing.
Yeah.
That just shows you how like destructive we are. In creating things.
Yeah.
In the process of creating something, we are.
Because I think
destroying
most of the
ourselves.
things we've created are just to fulfill our egos. For instance, maybe there are some benefits for, let's say, VR or these metaverses. There are some benefits to that. But if you look at it, it's like it only fulfills the ego of the human being, of the entity, like the entire entity of a human being, because it gets to show Guti we are intelligent. We want to just prove that point to Guti. We can create stuff like this. We are so intelligent as the human race. We are so advanced, and we are competing with whoever died years back to say that we are more advanced than them. But not to notice where this is long term, where this is taking
downfalls of it.
humanity.
Sure.
Because all these distractions, whether it's your alcohol, whether it's entertainment, whether it's media, you consume soccer, you consume soapies, you consume cooking shows, like everything that you can think of that we are consuming, that is part of our everyday life right now. It's distracting us from thinking clearly. And someone will ask, what does it mean to think clearly? Like, like what we understand with alcohol, it's thinking clearly because it makes you take bad decisions.
Yes.
But what does thinking clearly mean to another person? For instance, in the office this past week, I've been having more conversations with my colleagues. So what I do in the morning is I just go and sit down in my desk and something just sparks up, or I have a conversation early that morning with someone and they make me think, and then I go to the office and I process my thoughts while I'm walking to work. Then when I get there, I ask a question, and those type of questions that I ask are like sort of deep questions that you wouldn't just think of. So their question is always, hi Wena, what do you get time to think of these things? Like lazy. So that's the type of thinking, like to challenge things, to challenge yourself, to challenge your perceptions, to process whatever information you've consumed. Like that's what we mean about thinking clearly. And thinking clearly also expands to your spiritual self, like having to spend time with yourself. Meditation, that is. No one, like most people right now can't meditate. Like they can't sit by themselves.
There's a lot
Get
of
bored
noise.
and you have to do something else. I'm told. So
Even your decision making, that is part of thinking.
exactly. Even with how you react to situations, it's part of the decisions you make internally of what to make of situations and processing those situations. Like we all know, Guti, meditation is the way.
Sure. And yet
Meditation solves most of our problems. It helps with our emotions as well. Like it makes us understand ourselves and the world that we live in. But what we do is we always constantly consume something. So what I'm trying to say is that we know that meditation is the way, but we are not doing it because we have these things that are making it difficult for us to tap into that, to sit by yourself and just think and not do anything.
And they come like this.
Because even in that state of stillness, when you're trying to meditate, you're still bombarded with distractions.
A lot of things are happening.
Your thoughts are.
And that's the practice. That's when you actually.
That's the practice.
When you're
And the
supposed to
practice of
master.
meditation is that you shouldn't control your emotions. That's just the basic. You shouldn't control your thoughts. You shouldn't try to silence your thoughts and like you have no thoughts at all. I mean, you'd be dead if ever you want that. But what's advisable that I got from what's this app? The orange app, the app with an orange Headspace, yeah. So what they did, they had a Netflix show about meditation. So what they were saying there is that see yourself as someone standing on the sidewalk of the street, and you look at cars moving. Look at yourself as that person who's standing, and look at your thoughts moving. Don't try to stop the cars. Just observe the cars and let the cars be. And maybe you can change your focus and your focus be on your breath, the peak of your breath, the time it reaches the top when you inhale, the time it reaches the bottom when you exhale. So those type of things to get to sit with yourself and see what will happen with your mind when you're in that state.
I think it's always a challenge, like trying to just sit in total stillness, because we used to fidgeting. The minute you sit still, I'm for one, know that I can't, even in a meeting, I can't just sit still, and what they advise is that if you're a person that fidgets a lot, it's like grab a pen. That's what I normally do, like grab a pen and I doodle just on the pen, but that also in itself is a distraction. Or try to just keep your hands on your lap. Just so that you are more focused, because doing something else is also a distraction. You're not really taking in what's being sent to you as a receiver. You're not receiving every bit of information coming to you, because your brain is still doing something else.
Yeah.
So, but if you're in
you don't
total
have full
stillness,
focus.
you're not fully focused. But the minute you just hands on your lap or something, then now I'm
all in
I'm
now.
attentive.
Yeah, you're all in.
Attentive. So
Which is a bit difficult.
yeah, it's difficult. We fidget a lot.
What's your most no, maybe let me say what's your most, but what's the distraction that I don't know how to phrase this question, just so that they
I'm
can
trying
comment
to-
down below.
What distracts you the most?
What
Yeah.
do you what do
What's
you
one
find
thing
the
that-
most challenging thing to
Overcome.
what's the most distracting thing you find hard to deal with or to overcome, if you say?
But I think they get the point.
Yeah, they get the point.
Whatever distraction that you always tap into whenever you feel like you're bored, just leave a comment down below and we see what's the most distraction that we tap into.
what clouds your thoughts most of the time?
What
Clouds you? When you are sitting alone thinking, what's the first thought that comes to your mind?
Yeah. Just leave a comment down below, and if you're liking the conversation, click that like button. So another thing that we don't want to admit is most destructive to us is relationships.
Whether friendship
Like
or relationship.
romantic relationships. Because if you look at it, most people who are in relationships, like look at your day, what do you mostly think about if you are not extremely busy with work? You think of that one person.
Yeah.
You think of the problems you have with that one person or the exciting things that you're gonna do with that person. You think of how you love that person. You think of how you feel about that person.
Sure.
You see?
I'll take it back to my university days now. I mean, like it's not a bad thing because when you're experiencing all of that, it's actually a good feeling.
Yeah.
But I'm now like what's the word? Okay, I'm just basically trying to reflect on that moment in time and how it affected my semester. You know, when it started off. Because I came into Scala, everything was going as it was, okay, riding the wave. But the minute my relationship kicked off, I was spending way more time in my relationship than I was with my books.
Yeah.
And
Even
as a
with
result,
yourself.
even with myself. And as a result, I'm not blaming the relationship, but it played a part in me paying less attention to my books because most of the time I'm focused on my relationship.
Yeah.
And when I'm now supposed to focus on my studies and exams and all of that, I have limited time now. You know, now it's crunch time. I'm just trying to grab bits of information here and there, just enough to get me by, just enough for me to pass.
Yeah.
And so on. And that led to me actually like flunking my semester. And so on. Yeah, maybe there were other factors, but the one that stood out the most for me was that because that was a change in how every
How
other
you
year was.
operate,
and how my everyday was basically. Because once that happened, normally it would just be okay, Scala after class, hang with the gents, after gents, I head home. You know, but now the routine changed. It wasn't now okay, Scala, after Scala, class after class is done, head home. But it was after Scala, time to put in. I had to put time into the relationship. And then after that, then I go home. And it's not like you're just gonna spend 30
It's not
like you're gonna spend 30 minutes.
No. And it feels like I ufuna ukuhamba.
You know when they say you whooped? Yeah, that was me, dog.
Yeah.
It's a phase.
Whooped or whipped.
Whipped. And there's another word to it, but I don't want to add it.
Let's
but
leave
they
that
know.
word.
Yeah,
Let's leave
you
that
peach
word.
whipped. You know.
So you're not even taking it that deep. You get to see that relationships are distractions in our lives.
Even
Just go
when
on
they
social
don't go
media.
right.
Bro, just go on social media. Each and every other post is about umjolo.
Relationship.
Man did this, man did that. My partner this, my partner that. You don't do this
My
in
husband
relationships.
this,
You do that in relationships. Wedding this,
Daughter
wedding
must.
that. Daughter must. Girl I think amajita isebenzisa imama must.
Imama must,
So
yeah.
izinto ezinjalo.
Mama
Yabona
must,
ukuthi most of the things that we
mama must.
Shilo.
Hey,
Badala.
hey, God, hey, I can't keep up.
Yeah, so you get to see Uguti like what's in our minds the most as people. and what we are doing less of. I mean, the depression, everyone complaining about depression, everyone complaining about how difficult life is, everyone complaining about stress, everyone complaining about adulting.
Nadendo le sapara uya kakhulu ni comparison nokhala uyangithola yiyo nakhona ephinde isibulale kakhulu because la usuka soyivalele eroomini uyivalela ngalezo uyivalele leni ukuthi uhalela bani i-relationship maybe ukhale relationship SK the way ihamba ngakhona because abantu bayaposta nowadays right siyaposta then akuposti kuphela thina abanye yethu i-relationship ichekile so and yakhe kanje nokuhala leyo feeling leyo moment usho ukuthi nama i-wish ngathi ngayithola into kanjalo ukhona ukuthi because i-distraction imnandi I think as we mentioned manje ukuthi i-distraction ebhaya i-relationship and everyone is looking for that drug. Everyone is looking for that drug.
People hardly stay single deliberately now, like being voluntarily celibate or being voluntarily single. People rarely do that now. That man. It's only those people that can be secure with themselves and be like, no, I know what I'm looking for until I get what I'm looking for. But some people are just like, get a relationship, we think it could be started, but deep down they know that this person I'm with is not the best that I could do. There's always more of a person that I could get than this person. So those are the things we don't want to admit to. Yeah, they continue to search one way or another and keep their options open. But those are the things we don't want to admit to.
No.
But that's what this podcast is for. We walk streets that are empty. Touch on conversations that have never been talked about or people don't want to talk about. So I think we can just pitch in our last words. I think those were my last words.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have much time.
Those were your last words.
Yeah.
I think Donna, in closing, I would say like holding yourself accountable is hard. You know, because you would have to introspect first. You know, and in introspecting, it's like now you have to. It's like criticize yourself.
Deal with your shadow, the dark sides of yourself.
Yeah, even the sides of yourself that you don't like.
Face the truth.
Face the truth. You know, and sometimes we don't want to face the truth.
Yeah.
So instead, we rather live in the light.
Stomach, bro.
Well, we rather live in the light than the darkness. So you wake up today like, nah, you know what? Fuck my problems, dog. I'll just sit. I'll focus on what they have to say on Twitter today.
Yeah.
I'll go have some beers, you know, just to numb that feeling of sadness or whatever it is that you're currently dealing with, you know.
That emptiness, because I think most people feel empty
and you're trying to
and they want to feel that.
Yeah, you're trying to
and they don't understand that you can't feel the void from things that are external. You can feel the void from
within. And while you are empty, you can't pour from an empty cup, as they tend to say.
Exactly.
So now it comes back to the whole relationship thing. Now imagine if you are empty and you're trying to be in a relationship while you haven't even introspected in how you are as a person and what you do.
A relationship like defines who you are and your life.
Individually, because as an individual, you also have to figure yourself out before you actually figure out the relationship. Because as a collective or as a couple, then it would then gel. But if as individuals, you're stuck in your own world, nothing's gonna come together.
I think to another show you. Yeah,
I'm done.
So, but it's one of the cases with the person in front of the mirror is very important. And the person in front of the mirror is very important, and you gotta deal with him or her face up. You understand? And I don't think will ever fulfill a human being unless when are fulfilled by yourself. Ayiko. Noma ngathi uyahamba uyagupha uchange country uyahamba uyenza kanjani. Still you'll come back to one thing. You'll never be fulfilled unless you are fulfilled. There are so many people now bafuna bafaka too much pressure still like to your girlfriend or a boyfriend. You want them to be your source of happiness. They will never be your source of happiness.
And nothing can ever be your source of happiness.
Nothing.
You cannot never rely on something to be fulfilled within yourself.
The only person you have is
even
yourself.
Money. And that's another distraction, money.
Yeah.
Constantly chasing the bag, thinking that you're gonna come to a space where you're like content.
And
No,
there's never a
it's always
state
the
of
next thing. So you get to do that until you go 6
you
years.
kick your bucket.
Yeah.
But yeah, as we always say,
Take care of yourselves,
and
take care of each other, and take care of your pockets. This is the Empty Street Podcast, and we're signing out.